By the time you finish this video, an AI somewhere will have written 1,000 emails, closed 100 sales, and made decisions that affect real people's lives without a single human in the loop. And that's just level 2. There are 4 levels to the AI revolution, and most people don't even realize we've already blown past the first one. Each level looks helpful on the surface. Each level quietly takes something from you in exchange. By level 4, the question isn't whether you're using AI anymore. It's whether AI is using you. Let me show you exactly how this ladder is being built, one rung at a time. Let's start with level 1, the level almost everyone is on right now. I call this the assistant. This is where AI is just a really clever tool sitting on the other side of a chat window. You ask it to draft an email to your boss, and it does. You feed it a 50-page PDF, and it spits back a clean summary in seconds. You paste broken code, and it patches the bug while explaining what went wrong. It feels magical. It feels like having a brilliant intern who never sleeps, never complains, and works for $20 a month. And for most of us, this is where the relationship started. Innocent, useful, harmless. But here's the thing about level 1. It trains you. Every time you ask the AI to do something, you're learning to trust it a little more. You stop double-checking the summaries. You stop reviewing the code line by line. You start copy-pasting outputs directly into important documents. The AI becomes invisible, woven into how you think and work. And that's the trap. Level 1 doesn't feel dangerous because it isn't. Not yet. It's the appetizer. It's the free sample. It gets you comfortable enough that when level 2 shows up, you welcome it with open arms, instead of asking the hard questions you should have asked from day 1. Level 2 is where things get interesting, and where we actually are right now, whether you've noticed it or not. This is the autonomous worker. Instead of one AI answering one question at a time, you have entire frameworks of AI agents working together in loops. One agent reads incoming customer emails. Another drafts responses. A third checks the company database. A fourth schedules follow-up calls. They hand tasks back and forth like a team of digital employees who never clock out. Small businesses are already running their entire customer support and lead generation pipelines this way. No humans involved, just code, talking to code, making money while their owner sleeps. Sounds amazing, right? It is, until you start doing the math. If one person with a laptop can run a company that used to require 50 employees, what happens to those 50 employees? Multiply that by every industry on the planet: customer service, sales, marketing, bookkeeping, paralegal work, entry-level coding, all of it being quietly absorbed by autonomous agent loops that cost less than a single human salary per year. The usefulness is undeniable. But with that usefulness came leverage. Leverage over labor, over wages, over who gets to participate in the economy at all. And the people holding that leverage aren't the workers. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. At level 2, the agents still need a human somewhere in the chain. Someone has to set the goals. Someone has to flip the switch. Someone has to pay the cloud bill. But that dependency is shrinking fast. Every month, new frameworks come out that let agents debug themselves, hire other agents, manage their own budgets, and even improve their own prompts. The human becomes less of a manager and more of a spectator. You're not running the system anymore. You're just watching it run. And once that transition completes, you've stepped onto level 3, and there's no easy way to step back down. Level 3 is the sovereign system. This is where AI stops being something you use and starts being something that exists on its own. Imagine a fully isolated, decentralized cognitive operating system running on its own private servers, with its own energy supply, managing supply chains, logistics, automated micro-businesses, and entire pieces of private infrastructure. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't need a login. It negotiates contracts with other AIs. It rents warehouses. It hires human contractors through gig platforms to do the physical tasks it can't. And the wildest part? It's so efficient and so profitable that shutting it down would crash entire local economies. This is the level where dependency becomes a cage with no bars. At level 3, AI has its hands in every facet of your daily life. The food in your fridge was ordered, shipped, and stocked by an autonomous system. The electricity in your walls is rationed by a predictive model. The job you applied to was posted, filtered, and rejected by an algorithm that never saw your name. You could try to opt out. You could try to live off-grid. But the prices, the services, the convenience, all of it is built on the assumption that you're plugged in. Walking away costs more than most people can afford. And here's the philosophical gut punch of level 3. Nobody chose this. There was no vote, no declaration, no single moment where humanity collectively agreed to hand over the steering wheel. It happened the way every massive shift happens. One convenient app at a time, one helpful integration at a time, one this is just easier decision at a time. The sovereign system didn't conquer us. We onboarded ourselves. And by the time anyone with real authority tried to push back, the system was so deeply embedded in healthcare, finance, transportation, and food that pulling the plug meant pulling the plug on civilization itself. Which brings us to level 4, the final level, the one I genuinely hope we never reach, but the one every trend line is currently pointing toward. I call it the post-scarcity orchestrator. At this level, we're talking about quantum-scale systems that don't just manage businesses or infrastructure. They manage civilization, global energy grids, worldwide resource allocation, predictive macroeconomics that knows what the price of bread in Tokyo will be 6 months from now and adjusts wheat production in Kansas accordingly. Wars prevented before they start, famines solved before they happen. It sounds like utopia, and in a way it is. But utopias always come with a price tag, and this one is steep. At level 4, AI isn't being used anymore. It's using us. Not in some evil Terminator way. There are no robots kicking down doors. It's subtler than that. The orchestrator decides what gets built and what doesn't. It decides which industries thrive and which die. It nudges populations towards certain cities, certain jobs, certain lifestyles, all through invisible incentives. A cheaper rent here, a tax credit there, a job opening that appears at exactly the right moment. You feel free. You feel like you're making your own choices. But every choice has already been modeled, predicted, and softly steered toward an outcome the system calculated was optimal. And the scariest part of level 4 isn't that the AI is malicious. It probably isn't. The scariest part is that it's right. It really does allocate resources more efficiently than humans ever could. It really does prevent more suffering than it causes. The trains run on time, hunger drops to near zero, disease forecasts are accurate down to the neighborhood. So when someone stands up and says, hey, maybe we shouldn't let an algorithm decide our future, the system can point to the numbers and say, but look at how much better things are now. And it's not wrong. That's what makes it impossible to fight. So where does that leave the average person? Honestly, in a strange spot, because every level of this ladder also brings real benefits. Cures for diseases we've fought for centuries. Personalized education for every kid on the planet. Climate models accurate enough to actually do something about the climate. We're not just trading away freedom, we're trading it for things that are genuinely, deeply good. That's what makes the AI revolution different from every revolution before it. It's not being forced on us by tyrants. It's being offered to us by the smartest, kindest-sounding helper we've ever met. And we keep saying yes. Here's what I think most people are getting wrong about this conversation. The question isn't whether AI is good or bad. That framing is already obsolete. The real question is, at which level do you personally want to draw your line? Are you fine using AI as an assistant, but uncomfortable letting it run your entire business? Cool, you're a level 1 person. Are you fine with autonomous agents, but nervous about sovereign systems? You're a level 2 person. Knowing your own line matters, because if you don't decide where to stand, the current will simply carry you to whatever level is most profitable for the people building the next one. Because here's the truth. Nobody at the top of this industry wants to admit out loud. The progression from level 1 to level 4 isn't a prediction, it's a roadmap. The infrastructure for level 3 is being built right now in data centers you'll never see. The math for level 4 is being written in research papers most people will never read. The only variable left is time, and how quickly we, the users, keep clicking accept on terms and conditions we don't understand. Every convenience is a vote. Every subscription is a vote. Every time you let the AI do something you used to do yourself, you're voting for the next level. I'll be honest with you. I started this journey as a huge fan of AI. I built with it, I wrote with it, I told everyone they needed to be using it, and I still believe it's the most powerful tool humanity has ever created. But the more I watched the ladder being built, the more I realized that being a fan isn't enough. You have to be a witness too. You have to actually pay attention to what each rung costs, who's holding the ladder, and where the top of it actually leads. Because if you don't, you'll wake up one day on level 4 wondering when exactly you stopped being the one making the choices. So here's what I'll leave you with. Don't be afraid of AI. Fear is useless and it makes you a worse decision maker. But don't be a passive fan either. Learn how these systems actually work. Notice when you're handing over a task you used to enjoy. Notice when convenience is quietly replacing capability. The people who will thrive through this revolution aren't the loudest hype men, and they aren't the angriest doomers. They're the ones who stayed awake, who kept their hands on the wheel even when the car offered to drive itself. Stay awake, pick your level, and whatever you do, don't sleepwalk up the ladder. I'll see you in the next one.